internet is full of advice concerning habits of successful people and what successful people do, what they don't do. It's it's even hard to make this video right here. It's like, okay, what is it I'm gonna say that has not been said before? However, like I tell you guys, on this channel, I only talk about things that I've done myself. Right? I speak from experience. I speak from what I've seen with my own eyes, and then I share that with you because I believe what I've seen with my own eyes is a great experience that I can speak to with authority because it has happened, right? The person with an experience, like somebody said, is not at the mercy of a person with an excuse. And so, what do I believe are the habits of successful people? I believe there's five, right? There's five, and these are not the only ones, right? These are not the okay. You have these five and you're set. Just like anything else in life, there's others. There's probably 10. There's probably, but you know what? This is what I've learned. This is what I found out, and in all my study, in all my experience, in just trying to figure out what makes successful people successful, I have found these five to be important, and those are the ones I want to share with you. I would have shared with you 6, 10, 15. I would have come up with a list of so many, but like Stephen Covey says, it's seven. Not only seven, but seven habits of highly effective, right? Highly effective people. And I want to talk about what I believe are the five habits of highly successful people. And when I talk about success, I'm talking about success not only in money, like most of us measure success. I'm talking about success in marriage. I'm talking about success in being a great parent. And I'm talking about success in whatever endeavor you decide to pursue in life, right? It's not just monetary stuff that I'm talking about, although that is the most important measure in the world we live in today that we measure success by. And when we measure it by money, it's only that it's money is easier to measure because it just tells us the impact we've had on our fellow man. That's what that means, right? Value is something the customer is willing to pay for, and therefore, the more we create value in the marketplace, the market rewards us with this thing called money, and therefore we're able to say so and so is successful because they have so much money. But it's not the only measure because you don't reward it. There is no money that comes with being a great parent. There is no money that comes with being a great husband. There's no money that comes with being a great wife. There's no money that comes with those are hard things to measure. People can be successful at those things, but there's no money that comes with being a great friend, a great companion. Name it. There's no money that comes with it where we can place a value and say so and so is successful, and that's the reason why we have a hard time measuring those, and considering, measuring those as far as whether a person is successful or not. But we have a easier time measuring things in monetary, ways, like, hey, a career or a business or whatever it is, because it's easy to measure. It's either way the customer, it's either way it's either a customer is paying or they're not. So those are the binary. It's either you have it or you don't. Now it's harder, like I say, to measure other successes. So when I say success here, I'm talking about just overall, not only monetary success, but even it is included in this discussion here. And so what I learned about successful people, I was 18 years old when a man who would change my life sat me down and said, hey, so what is that you want to study? I said, I'm not sure. I don't even remember today what I picked or whatever it is. And so he said, look, we're going to take a drive, um, and I'll show you some houses, right? We took a drive, and he showed me where poor people lived, right? Rundown homes and just the scary neighborhoods. That's where he took me. And so then he took me to another neighborhood, right? A great neighborhood with fancy houses, big houses, landscaping, everything looking great. And then he asked me, so which of these would you want to live when you're older among the two places? I said, that place right there, meaning the nice place that looked safe and everything else. And so he says, "Do you know how much it costs to live there?" I said, "No, I don't." He says, "It costs a lot of money. How do you plan on paying for it?" Well, I had no clue. So he sat me down and said, "Hey, there's such a thing called, a career. And what a career allows you to do is to gain some skills, and then you become more valuable to the marketplace." Of course, I didn't understand that language at the time because he had not introduced me to somebody who would later teach me about creating value in the marketplace. And so he put down uh, a list of degrees, and about 15, I dare say 10 of them, all of them that were highest paying degrees in the United States at the time, were all in engineering. It says these degrees pay the most. Pick any of these things. Okay, this was not an issue of, hey, passion, whatever it is. I think actually he used to laugh every time I said, "What about passion?" He says, "Passion is not going to put food on your table. Okay, you're going to do what's necessary now, and then you can follow your passion later after you've put food on the table." And so when I chose one of those, I ended up, of course, choosing electrical engineering, you know. But like I said, it has to be something in engineering or nothing at all. You have to pick something that has something to do with math if you're going to be successful. At least that's what he told me. And so, why do I say this? It brings me to the first point. Okay, what successful people do. Successful people that I've noticed, mention them. Okay, they have a mentor. Think about Mike Tyson. Okay, Cus D'Amato really transformed his life just from a regular human being into one of, I believe, in my opinion, Mike Tyson is the greatest fighter ever. I mean, just his agility, his passion, and everything else. D'Amato got the best out of Mike Tyson and made him into something phenomenal. Okay, something phenomenal where you just there will never be anything like him, right? And so wherever you see somebody great, that's what I've noticed. Wherever you see somebody great, you're gonna see behind a great mentor. Successful people find a mentor, right? And my mentor at the time ended up introducing me to Jim Rohn, right? Jim Rohn, I believe in my own estimation, is the greatest business philosopher ever. From Jim Rohn, I learned the value or the importance of working on yourself. Okay, working on yourself more than you work on your job. The value of things like personal development, the value of name it. Jim Rohn opened my eyes to see things I never saw before, right? And so, and then my mentor also introduced me to Les Brown. He introduced me to Zig Ziglar. He introduced me to Earl Nightingale. He introduced me to Jack Canfield. He introduced me to Brian Tracy. He introduced me to. He just transformed my life. I was 18 years old. Okay, I was 18 years old. I met this man, and he just revolutionized my life in a way that I'd never known before. And suffice to say, he was a PhD in civil engineering himself, and so he may have a bias as far as why he asked me to do engineering. But I admired his life. I went to his house. He had a big house. He had a great family, and he became my mentor. For 5 years that he was alive until he died. He passed away of cancer. But he left me with wonderful tools that have really helped me in my life today. And so number one thing that successful people do, they find a mentor. A mentor is able to shorten your time, right, between your starting point and your destination. I remember, another mentor I had after graduating and finding a job. I left the marketplace at one point because I wanted to venture into a business, and I quit my job to trying to do this business, whatever it is. It didn't work. It didn't take off. Things didn't go the way I thought they were gonna go. I failed, completely failed in that business. I was miserable. And then I was talking to my mentor at the time. I said, "Look, I gotta get back to work." And I said, "Yeah, you do need to get back to work." And so I got back to work. And before I got back to work, I interviewed, and they offered me, I believe at the time, it was like 80 grand. They were giving me 80 grand. I said, so I went back to my mentor, and you got to think about it. I had not been working for like 4 months or 6 months or whatever it was, the time I stayed out of work because I'm trying to work on this business. And therefore, my mentor is like, "You're not gonna take that, are you?" I was like, "No, I'm gonna take this because look, I don't have a job right now, and they're giving me 80 grand. And if I say no, I don't have any other option. Like, I don't have a choice." He says, "You do have a choice. Look, I believe in your ability. Okay, I believe in your talent. I really, really believe that you're talented enough to be able to get six figures from them. I really believe, let's say, at the least, you should ask for 95, but it should be six figures. You should settle for 95. I said, man, if I go push all these demands, they're going to take this job away. I'm going to lose this job. I said, trust me, just go back there and just do what you say. Just tell them and say, listen, I need to be at six figures. That's where I need to be. I'm not going to take this 80 because I believe I'm going to bring value to you guys. And therefore, based on the problems I'm going to be solving here, I think the value for that is this much. Man, I went back there. I said, but man, if we lose this one, he said, don't worry about it. Just do what I asked you to do. I said, okay, yes, sir. So I went back and I told the lady on the phone, I said, listen, I'm grateful for the opportunity you guys are giving me, but I don't think I can do 80. Okay, I don't think I can do 80. I think this is where we're supposed to be. And if you guys can do this amount, I'll be willing to do it. Okay, suffice to say, the guys came back and they were like, okay, we'll do it at that amount. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to give you a bonus, and to make sure that we cover and get you the way you're supposed to. At the end of the day, when all is said and done, my compensation was six figures, just like my mentor. I said, I called him back and said, yeah, they did it. He said, you see, I believe in you more. Amazingly, I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. I said, I guess, but that's the importance of having a mentor. And if I didn't have that man in my life, I would have settled. Okay, I would have shortchanged myself. Because what? Because I didn't understand. I didn't even believe in myself. That's what mentors can do. They make you believe. They make you see greatness that you don't see in yourself, and they help you out. Successful people do that. And the second thing I want to talk about is successful people are committed to personal development. You heard me talk about Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was big on personal development. Personal development can transform your life. And what I mean by personal development, I'm not just talking about your mind. I'm talking about personal development as far as your body. I'm talking about personal development as far as your relationships. I'm talking about your devotional life, if you have one, your meditation life, you have one. Whatever facet of your life that you develop that part, like you learn something about business, that you learn something about the law, that you learn something about culture, that you learn something about whatever, art, that you learn something about music, that you learn something about, that you just develop who you are as an individual, right? You become the best version of yourself, and then you work on yourself every day, and that you work on yourself. I admire guys like really when you think about excellence, I think about Kobe Bryant, right? Having a Mamba mentality, or you think about Cristiano Ronaldo, having just that work ethic that you work on yourself every single day, right? That you work on your craft. It's what's his name? Stephen King. He says, no, writers. You know what writers do? They write. You know what painters do? They paint. You know what boxers do? They box. That once you hone in on your craft and you work on it daily, that you become that. In fact, James Clear echoes those sentiments in his book Atomic Habit, that you don't want to think about something as something that you do. You want to think about something that you want to think about something as something you are, right? You are, a person who is fit, right? I am a writer. I am an engineer. I am, name it, right? I am an entrepreneur. I'm a business person. I am that's who you are, right? When you think about yourself as a person of that caliber, whatever that is, you must behave like one, right? You have to develop yourself and commit it to that craft. You have to work on your self development every single day. Like discipline becomes part of who you are. you're relentless. Like when you're working on your craft, it's like you become somebody. Of course, you are somebody different, and you should be somebody different. But it's something you take very seriously. That everybody knows you for that. This guy works on this. He is good at this. He is daily working on himself. I mean, when you think about Cristiano Ronaldo, he's different from every player. He scored all these goals. They just didn't happen, right? He's not like Messi, for instance, who's just Messi is just from a different planet, right? I don't know how he does it, but with Cristiano, everybody understands his work ethic. His work ethic is like nothing any athlete, at least in soccer, has ever seen, right? He watches what he eats. He's just disciplined to his craft. Now think about it. Ask yourself, what is it that you do every single day that everybody knows this is who you are, right? No, this is what you do. This is who you are. If you're a writer, do you write every day? If you're a YouTuber, are you shooting videos? Because you have to become a YouTuber, not just, hey, I make videos. No, you need to become a YouTuber. You have to become it, right? Because it has to be part of who you are. You have to work on it every day, every single day, because that's what successful people do. They work on their craft every day. If they're a coder, they're coding every day. They're a coder, they are writing code, they're reviewing code. That's who they are. That's what they are. That's just the essence of their being. It becomes part of who you are, and that's what self-development is about. And the third thing successful people do is that they set goals. Right? You set a goal, and you don't only set a goal in your head. You write it down. Right? I will go to the gym every so often and do these reps so many times. I will do A, B, C, and D. I will, whatever goal you have. My goal is to be. I remember one time I had a goal as in, look, by so and so I should have a master's degree. And by so and so time I got it. By so and so time I need to have this certification. I got it. By so and so time I need to have this. There's certain things you can't control, like, oh, by so and so time, especially if you're a lady, you can say, okay, by so and so time I need to get married. Well, you can't control being married and somebody asking you out, right? Same thing with men. You can't control by so and so I need to be married. Well, somebody has to say yes to you, and the certain logistics you gotta have. But things within your control, right? Things within your control, you can say by so and so time I should be here. Like I tell everybody, like I've heard before, that whatever it is, any goal without a time on it is just a dream. Okay, every goal has to have a time on it. By so and so time I should be here. By so and so time, this is the time when I work. You don't work out just anyhow, randomly. There's gotta be a time and place. And if you want to know what setting goals is all about and creating habits, I encourage you to read Atomic Habits by, I believe, James Clear. It is the greatest book. And what I mean, I don't use the word greatest loosely. I mean, when it comes to discipline and habits, there is no book out there that matches the content you're going to find in Atomic Habit. Atomic Habit will change your life. I believe Atomic Habit is one of my top 5 books. Like if I had to pick 5 books that have had an impact on my life, it's going to be one of them. I really think James Clear did a fantastic job in just talking about habits and how we form them, and just how we gotta have a time and a place for everything we do, setting goals and everything else. So if you want to learn more about setting goals and why writing down those goals are important, go read that. So number 4 is that successful people, they manage their time wisely, right? Stephen King, again, I'll quote him in his book, writing. It talks about, if you cannot be a writer and be watching TV. Okay, TV is a waste of time. If you watch TV, you're not going anywhere. If you spend an hour, an episode, whatever it is, you spend an hour watching TV, you're wasting time. Just think about it. If you spend an hour a day, that's 5 hours in 5 days. Can you imagine where you'd be today if you worked in your business for 5 hours every week? Can you imagine where you would be today in your marriage if you worked on your marriage for 5 hours every week? Can you imagine where you'd be as a parent? Where you'd be in your career if you dedicated 5 hours to that? Television, more than anything else, has impacted people negatively than any other thing that I can think of. And that's just my opinion, right? If you're gonna watch television, watch things that build you, not the news. The news will always be the news. There's always gonna be a fire somewhere. There's always gonna be somebody dying somewhere. Okay? The news only works on one concept. If it bleeds, it leads. Okay? The goal is to make sure you know about something that's bleeding out there. That's not the stuff that you want to fill your mind with. Now you have to know what's going on in the world, but surely you can read about it online or something, but not sitting down there doing nothing, just watching human beings making money, teaching you nothing besides them informing you of what's going on in your neighborhood, that somebody stole something or whatever it is. There's no value in that. Successful people manage their time wisely. Why? Because time is the only resource that successful people have, right? Time is the only resource that you can't redeem once it's used. Now, of course, there's other resources. Once it's gone, it's gone. But time is different. Once a minute is gone, you can't get it back. Okay, there is no recycling of time. There is no alternative to time. There's alternative energies. There is no alternative time. Yesterday is gone forever. There is no redeeming it. Okay, we have to seize the moment. Cap DM. Seize the moment. Okay, seize today. Today is all we got. We will never have any time like today. Today is all there is. This is all there is. If you don't use today, that's it. Successful people manage their time wisely, right? We use our time to create value for our families, for the marketplace, for our neighbors, for anybody. We don't use time just to waste it. Successful people and poor people have this in common. Time happens to all of them, right? I think it's Solomon who said that the race is not given to men of ability, right? Neither are riches to people of what is it? I think he talked about ability, and then he talks about opportunities are not given to those who are capable of whatever it is. But then he ends that paragraph by saying that time and chance overtake them all. The CEO and the janitor have one thing in common: they all have 24 hours. However, the difference is the value they bring to the 24 hours. That's what's the difference. That's what separates them. How they've used their time in life. Okay, not one was favored by the other. No, everybody made a decision, and everybody took their lives based off of how they used their time. One may have been watching TV. The other person decided to create more value in the marketplace, create by doing what? By educating themselves, by becoming better at their craft. Everybody has 24 hours. Everybody has the 24 hours. What are you doing with yours? What am I doing with mine? That's the only thing that's going to matter at the end of the day, right? Successful people know how to use that 24 hours well. If it means cutting down time so they can have 4 hours, so they can work on their business, they do just that. They do everything necessary to do what? To move them forward. Others want to sleep for 8 hours, good for you. Want to sleep for 10 hours, you want to sleep for 10 hours, good for you. Others, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's what you do with your time that's going to count for something. You don't get a six-pack sitting watching TV. You don't become a gymnast watching TV. You don't become the greatest piano player watching TV. You don't become anything great watching TV. There is just nothing there, and I'm using TV just for wasting time, right? And so that's that on using your time wisely. And the last one, last but not least, successful people surround themselves with what Les Brown calls quality people. He actually calls it only quality people. OPQ, only, actually, no, OQP, right? That'll be OQP. Only quality people, meaning you don't want to hang around losers. And what I mean by losers, I'm not talking about people that are not privileged as you are. We don't call those losers, right? Losers are people that choose to be losers, right? You choose to lose. You choose to not work on your craft. You choose not to be a contributor to society. You choose, there's a lot of things that you choose. That's what we mean. People that don't want to use their God-given gifts to benefit humanity, right? They have certain ability. Everybody is born with a talent. But these are the guys who scripture talks about they took their talent and they buried it, right? One he gave five, one he gave three, and one he gave one. The one who was given one decided to go bury it. All of them were given talents. The other two decided to multiply those talents, right? They produced more. When the master came back, he asked and said, hey, what did you do with what I gave you? They said, hey, this is what we gave, this is what I gave. So we don't want to hang around the guy who just has one talent. We don't want to hang around that guy. We want to hang around people that make a difference in our lives. We want to hang around people that inspire us, right? And so, like Les Brown likes to talk about, I say, look, if you're the most successful amongst your friends, you need to leave those friends because you can only rise up. You can't rise above the company that you keep. Okay, you're only gonna rise to the level of the company that you keep, so to say. If you're the highest person on that, in that crowd, you need to leave that team and hang around with other team members or other people who are going to inspire you to do greater, right? Iron sharpens iron. Okay, not copper. Iron sharpens iron. And so you want to be around people that sharpen you, people that make you better, people that stretch you, people that stretch your imagination, people that, if your business is making $1 million, maybe you need to start hang around billionaires so they can stretch you, right? Maybe before you hang around billionaires, maybe get into 100 millions. How do you scale a company from $1 million to 100 million? That needs different skills. How do you scale a company from 100 million to a billion, from a billion to 50 billion, from 50 billion to 100 billion? It takes different skills. You have to hang around people that are in those spaces for you to change how you think. You're not going to find eagles hanging around chickens. It doesn't work like that. You're not going to find lions hanging around dogs. It doesn't work like that. Cats hang around cats. The lions hang around lions. Tigers hang around tigers. And, eagles hang around eagles. Okay? If you're going to be number one at what you do, if you want to be successful in any area of your life, you have to be surrounded by those kinds of people. Look for people that are like-minded. Don't share your dreams with people that don't believe in what you believe in, because what's going to happen is that they're going to put you down, right? Because they're so short-sighted. They don't see anything else. They don't see possibilities that you see, and they'll talk you out of your dreams. You need to hang around people, and you say, look, I'm trying to build my business to $5 million. They say, why 5? Why can't it be 10? You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine myself, like the example I gave before? If I went to my friend and I told him, I say, hey, they're offering me 80. The guy makes $20,000. He'd be like, you take it, take it, take it, take it. Why? Because the person has a scarcity mindset, right? The guy I'm talking about, my mentor, he has several homes, right? He owns real estate. He has an abundance mindset, and therefore he goes to ask for what he thinks is worth. I was settling because my mind was so limited, but he's like, no, why are you gonna settle for that? And so you want to hang around people that have an abundance mindset. They think about possibilities. They don't think about limitations. Where every time you talk about, hey, look, I want to buy 10 units apartment, I want to buy 20 units apartment, they're thinking, hey, why don't you start with one? Why should I start with one? You know what I'm saying? You want to expand and start owning, let's say, 100 unit apartment. The guys say, oh no, let's start with 4. Let's start with single homes. You don't need that. You need people that can stretch you. That when you say, hey, like I'm looking at 100 units there and say, look, okay, that's great. Have we done the numbers here? And look, let's get this 100 units, and then we're going to move on to 500 units, right? Those are the people you want to be around. Those are the people that you want to surround yourself with. A great team, people that inspire you. That's why you find that champions want to play with champions. They don't want to play with people that don't know what they're doing. They want to hang around champions. As a result, those champions, the teams that have champions, that have winners on their side, they keep on winning. A players want to play with A players, even at work. Okay, smart guys want to work with smart guys. You want to surround yourself with good guys, people that stretch you, people that make you better. Then you become better. All right, that's my take on what I believe are the 5 habits of highly successful people. So number 1, we talked about successful people have a mentor, right? They find a mentor. I mean, it's not only one mentor. You can have several mentors, like I've had, right? The next thing is that successful people are committed to personal development. They work on themselves every day. Every day they're disciplined. And to do that, they set goals that they write down, right? Those goals have a time on it. And if they don't have a time on it, it's just a dream. And the other thing they do, the fourth thing successful people do, is that they manage their time wisely, because time is the only resource that we believe we truly have. After it's gone, we can never get it back. And finally, successful people surround themselves with good people. Only quality people. All right, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and leave your comments below. And if there's any habits that I missed that I didn't address in this video that I think are important to success, to be a successful person, go ahead and leave a comment below. And if you're not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button so other people can see this video. And also, if you can just click on that notification bell, that way if I post a video, you're notified. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.